The first thing the little girl did after her rebirth was to deliberately cry loudly to bring her mother to the door. Her mother saw this and angrily asked what happened with the 6 adopted sons. The adopted daughter immediately lied, saying the girl was naughty and knocked over the milk bottle. However, when her mother heard this, she had the housekeeper bring up the surveillance footage. The 6 adopted sons and the adopted daughter panicked when they heard this. It turned out that since the girl was born, the house had been equipped with 360-degree surveillance. In her previous life, the mother had never mentioned this out of trust for the adopted children. But in this life, the girl was going to make these ungrateful people pay. In her past life, the mother worried the girl was too lonely and kindly adopted 6 sons and a daughter to keep her company. But these 7 ungrateful people coveting the girl's inheritance had teamed up with the housekeeper to harm her. Fortunately, the heavens gave the girl a second chance and she was reborn at the age of 3. This led to the scene at the beginning. As her mother was about to check the surveillance, the housekeeper quickly rushed in to plead for the adopted children. She said the little miss had always been mischievous and it was inevitable that she would have some accidents. Moreover, these 6 young masters and young lady had always been kind to the girl. How could they harm her? The girl was furious upon hearing this. In her previous life, she had only learned just before her death that the housekeeper was the adopted daughter's biological mother. Since the day the mother brought the adopted daughter home, the housekeeper had already begun plotting to take the girl's inheritance. At this point, the housekeeper had already accessed the surveillance and the adopted daughter's ugly face quickly appeared on the screen. This was because the girl had accidentally woken the adopted daughter while playing with toys. The adopted daughter rushed into the room and yelled at her. When the mother saw this, she became furious and slapped the adopted daughter without hesitation. She told her to leave her house. The 6 adopted sons quickly knelt down and begged their mother to give them another chance. The mother immediately gave them 2 options. Either they send the adopted daughter away today, or they all leave with her. The 6 ungrateful sons couldn't bear to give up their privileged lives, so they could only watch the adopted daughter be kicked out. Not long after the adopted daughter left, the housekeeper suddenly rushed in with urgent news. She said the overseas company had issues and the mother needed to leave immediately. The mother hesitated for a moment, worried about her daughter. Seeing this, the girl quickly comforted her mother, telling her not to worry, she could take care of herself. Hearing this, the mother reluctantly left. Before leaving, she warned the adopted sons and the housekeeper to take good care of the girl. If the girl was harmed in any way, they would face her wrath. The 6 adopted sons immediately showed malicious smiles. They thought the opportunity to act had come. Little did they know their bad days had just begun. Early the next morning, the girl suddenly started banging drums in the house, waking the housekeeper and the adopted sons who were still sleeping. She complained she was hungry and told the housekeeper to hurry up and make food. The housekeeper, fearing the surveillance in the house, could only suppress her anger and go into the kitchen. But when she finally brought the food to the girl deliberately knocked the bowl over and stained the housekeeper's silk pajamas. This terrified the housekeeper, because these pajamas were ones she secretly wore while the lady of the house was on a business trip. If she ruined them, it would be a disaster. As the girl expected, the housekeeper, fearing the mistress would find out, quickly went to the 6 adopted sons to discuss a plan. But to the girl's surprise, she actually heard the adopted daughter's voice in the room. It turned out the 6 brothers couldn't bear to let the adopted daughter suffer outside and had secretly hidden her in their room. Just as the girl was about to call her mother to report this, she turned around and ran into the housekeeper. The housekeeper immediately noticed something was wrong and hurriedly asked her what happened. Their conversation quickly alarmed the adopted sons in the room. The adopted daughter, fearing being found out, could only hide in the closet. At this point, the girl said she heard the adopted daughter's voice. The housekeeper was shocked and immediately picked up the girl, ready to go check the room. Before leaving, the lady had specifically instructed to protect the girl. She would never allow anyone who threatened the girl to remain in the house. Seeing they could no longer hide the truth, the adopted sons deliberately blocked the bathroom door, hoping to distract the housekeeper. The housekeeper quickly fell for the trick and rushed to check the bathroom. Taking advantage of the distraction, the girl swiftly opened the nearby closet. Seeing this, the housekeeper pulled the adopted daughter out of the closet. Now that there was evidence, the adopted sons began to act shamelessly. They said the adopted daughter was the real lady of the house and the housekeeper had no right to expel her. Hearing this, the girl immediately pretended to be scared and hid behind the housekeeper. The adopted daughter saw this and became furious. She suddenly shouted and lunged at the girl, hoping to punish her. Looking at the furious adopted daughter, the housekeeper immediately grabbed her by the neck. She warned everyone to know their place. In this house, the only master was the girl. To teach them a lesson, the housekeeper ordered that the adopted daughter be severely beaten and kicked out. The older brothers who had been accomplices were also punished. The malicious housekeeper, to avenge her daughter, secretly poisoned the girl's porridge. The girl noticed the housekeeper's intent to harm her. Not wanting to sit idly by, she took the chance the next day while her brothers weren't paying attention to run outside. The 6 adopted sons, fearing the truth would be exposed, quickly chased after her. With no place to escape, the girl could only jump onto the trampoline in the yard. In a moment of panic, she suddenly remembered her mother's warning before leaving. She said the older brother who lived next door had a bad temper. Unless absolutely necessary, the girl should never ask him for help. However, just then the girl finally found the irritable older brother. Now the good days for the adopted sons and adopted daughter were coming to an end.